Man, we had a Black Friday where we made $1 million in a day. One day we made $1 million. Don't clap yet. Don't clap yet, because I'm about to tell you what happened. And so we have to stop being so addicted to getting the information and get more addicted to the process and executing on the information. Now, my question is, why didn't you give 100% the first time?
Okay, so without further ado, y'all make a lot of noise for Mr. Corey.
Again, how y'all feeling? I like that. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. I'm so glad to be here. It's so funny how God works. Last night, I go to Change Church, and last night I was on a podcast, if y'all ever heard of Dear Future Wifey podcast, and we was talking about celibacy, and they was asking if I was celibate in front of hundreds of people. And now I'm giving some information, so it's really crazy how the world works, but I am extremely glad to be here. So as I get started, I have a question for y'all. I want to pose a question to y'all, and I want y'all to really pay attention. I need everybody to raise their hand. I know y'all eating, raise that hand, the other hand. Now, raise it a little higher. Now, my question is, why didn't you give 100% the first time? And see, that's how we are in business. We want the results of working 100%, but we real sometimes. Oh, y'all thought this was gonna be motivational, huh? Ooh, y'all in for a rude awakening. I am here to be real with you all. We're gonna get inspired, we're gonna have motivation, we're gonna have fun, but I'm gonna keep it 100 because entrepreneurship is not easy. And whoever said it was needs to be arrested and charged to the full extent, because entrepreneurship is a journey and it's not for everybody. But for those of us who are traveling through that journey and we're doing our thing, this is for you. And those of you who want to get into it, this is also for you. So I want to pose a question to you all, and I want you all to hold this question as I go along with my speech, right? The question is, who are you when nobody is watching? Who are you when everything is going wrong, when your back is against the wall, when it just looks like it's not possible? Who are you? Who would somebody say that you act like? What are the character traits that you have when things are going terrible? And I'm asking you to hold on to these questions because as I go along, you'll see you have to find out who I was during some of these times, right? So I'm gonna give myself another intro. Thank you, she did an amazing job. Give it up for her one more time. But like she said, my name is Corey Arvinger. I run a company called Support Black Colleges, and I went to the #1 HBCU in the world. That's Howard University. HU! Okay, it's a few of us. I'm sorry if you went to A&T. I heard the Aggie Pride. Sorry about that. If you went to Hampton, your degree does not count. Y'all know we gotta throw a shot at Hampton. But shout out to the AUC, Clark Atlanta Spelman Morehouse. I didn't want to get jumped. I did not want to get jumped, so I had to shout y'all out. I know y'all deep in here. But yes, I created the brand my sophomore year at Howard University, and I just wanted to make a shirt that was different from everybody else's at homecoming. That's how it started. And so, you know, everybody's homecoming time. We all go to Zara, H&M, those same spots. Now we thrifting, I guess. But I wanted something different, so I created a shirt with this logo mark, and it says Support Black Colleges. And everybody kept saying, what is that? I'm like, what is that? And me, I'm like, I need some money, I'm broke. So I said, oh, I got t-shirts. And so I started to take pre-orders for a shirt that I had not even created. And I was making a lot of money. I felt like a drug dealer almost, honestly. And, and Support Black Colleges was birthed. So since then, we've had a lot of accomplishments. We've worked with the NBA. I've done NBA All-Star for the last 4 years. And we actually, oh, thank you. 2 claps. And it's crazy because, I don't know if y'all paid attention to this, but the NBA actually has an HBCU game that happens every All-Star now. That was not created before us, right? Thank you. And so we've done that. We're in Urban Outfitters, we're in Foot Locker, we're in Jimmy Jazz, we're in Snipes, and we're online, obviously. We've been able to work with a bunch of celebrities, Eva Marcel, Chris Paul, some of those people we've named. And it's just been an amazing journey. I'm so grateful because this was just an idea that I executed on. And even though I didn't know this was my path, God knew this was my path. And so I took that and I ran with it. But now, with success also comes failure. And a lot of people don't want to talk about failure. And that's why I really dislike social media sometimes, because everybody makes their life seem so perfect. And for me, I try to be as transparent as possible. If anybody follows me, I'm currently doing this series where I'm looking for a wife. Y'all listen. It is tough in these Atlanta streets. On first dates, they ask you to pay rent. It's like, they got 6 kids. I'm like, ah. So I'm doing that on social media, but I like to just tell my true life story because all I can be is my authentic self. And so with success came a lot of failure. Man, we had a Black Friday where we made $1 million in a day. One day we made $1 million. Don't clap yet. Don't clap yet, because I'm about to tell you what happened. See, a lot of us ask for $1 million days, but can't handle $1 million inventory. We can't handle shipping out $1 million worth of products. Let me break down this for you. So $1 million in sales equates to 13,000 orders. And for us, that was 60,000 items. Now, at that time, we only had like 12 employees. So if you could imagine, and I'm talking about employees from like making the stuff and shipping and customer service. So it's crazy because I was asking God to do something for me that I wasn't prepared for. We'll get into that later. So we had that happen. Like many business owners, I didn't know how to file taxes properly. I didn't know how to manage my finances. Recently, well, about over a year now, me and my business partner split. Like that, these are real things that happen. We didn't start with an operating agreement because we were just doing it together, not knowing it was going to turn into what it is now. Like I look at Black Coffee, 5 people, I'm like, whoa, I couldn't even do it with 1 person. But that's why it's so great to see, right? And so with the highs also come the lows, but here I am standing today, right? And so I got some messages for y'all, and that's my question. Who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you when nobody knows what's going on? That day that y'all got 0 sales versus the day when you got 100 sales. What does that look like? Can people tell based off your attitude and how you carry yourself? And I love to use this analogy. Raise your hand if you're in the gym. If you go to the gym, let's just say twice a week. 3 times a week? 4 times a week? Some of y'all lying. Okay, cool. So even without somebody telling you they go to the gym or they eat right, you know how you can tell the results, right? And a lot of times, just because I didn't post on social media that I went to the gym don't mean I didn't go. But the results will never lie. The results, walking up the stage, if I was breathing heavy, y'all like, dang, you do not go to the gym. Why are you breathing heavy over 3 steps, right? I think it's so important to understand that just because somebody doesn't see it doesn't mean they won't see the results. And so I say that same way how when I was up, I was a certain way. When I was down, I was the same way because I have to keep consistent. And so I want to talk about when I was down, what I did in this method that I use, and it's called ICE. I-C-E. Everybody say ICE. Is the ICE method. First, isolate. When I was down, I isolated. I had to get away from the noise. And it's like, it's so many different things. People saying, oh, Corey, drop this product. Anybody ever told y'all to drop a product and then when you dropped it, they didn't even buy it? I'm like, y'all told me to do tie-dye hoodies and not one of y'all bought tie-dye hoodies. And so I say isolation because those thoughts and noises can sometimes make you make really bad business decisions. I stopped listening to family. I stopped listening to friends. I stopped listening to YouTube gurus, and I really locked in. Because what happens is you get so many different voices, you don't know what to listen to realistically. And so you make one wrong decision and bad goes to worse immediately. And so I say isolate. Isolation creates separation, and then separation creates elevation. And I'm all about the elevation, so I have to isolate. Second, this is my most important one, call on Jesus. Call on Jesus. I will tell you in my lowest of times, all I can do is get on my knees and pray. And cry out to God and say, God, like, I don't know what you want me to do. Should I quit? Should I file bankruptcy? I didn't know what to do, but God did. And so what I did was I called on Jesus and I figured out what that plan looked like. What should I do? How should I move forward? Like, what is next for me? I've seen success, so I know it's possible. But then I'm in this position, so it's like, what do you want me to do? Which leads me to E, which is execute his plan. So you isolate, you call on Jesus, and then you execute his plan. Now, this is the key. A lot of us are addicted to information, but allergic to execution. I'll break that down for you. We go to every conference, we take every course, we be on YouTube all day, and then we don't do anything with the information. We sit on that information and we don't take no action towards that information. And what happens is then you start getting decision fatigue. You don't wait on it. You sat on it too long. It's like that piece of content. It was a trend going on. Y'all made the content. Then you never posted it because you're like, and now the trend is over. It's like, oh, you missed your turn. And so we have to stop being so addicted to getting the information and get more addicted to the process and executing on the information. So you isolate, you call on Jesus, and then you execute his plan. Now, I got a funny story for you. It's not really funny, but it's an interesting story. Everybody familiar with Walt Disney? So did you know that Walt Disney never got a chance to see Disney World? He died before it. He died before he could ever see Disney World. So one day, it was some corporate partners, and it was his brother, and they were walking through Disney World. And the guy was like, man, it's crazy. Like, it's so sad that Walt never got to see this. And the brother said, what you mean? Of course he saw it. He said he created it. He was the architect. So before we saw it physically, he saw it right here. He had a plan. He was an architect, and he chefed it up so that even when he was gone, it could still happen, right? And that's how I look at God. The plan is already made. The blueprint is there. We just have to choose whether we follow it or not. When y'all see these amazing buildings and things go up, what you think they follow? They're not just winging it. It's a plan in place so that they can have a strong foundation. If the foundation is strong, they can build on the foundation and begin to branch off and do other things. And a lot of times we depend on our own independence and we don't depend on God, right? And I don't know about y'all, but I can't do it without God. My strength, my everything. And so it's important to understand that we have to trust the architect of our lives. We have to trust the man who already knows what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen, but we have to make the right decisions that follow that plan. So it's really important to do that. Now, here's another part of it. So what happens is we ask for these things, and God gives it to us in like small, short increments to see what we do with it, but then we don't like it, right? I'll give you an example. Some people might want to be a pilot, but you would never be a flight attendant. Or you want like the biggest clothing brand in the world, but you wouldn't work in retail. And it's kind of weird because there's nothing that I can think of that will give you something without proving that you can handle something small first. So it's like when you go to the bank and try to get a loan. Well, what do? You apply for the loan, they check your credit, they see how much money in your account, they see what you did with your money before, and then they say, based off of that information, will I give this person money or not? A lot of times the answer is no. And just like they tell us no, sometimes God tells us no, and we don't like it. But we haven't shown that we can steward what he gave us before, right? See, what happens is God wanted you, he gave you that retail job because he knew that your clothing line would be up here, but you had to learn foundational things. I worked at Abercrombie for 4 years. I know it sounds crazy, but I worked at Abercrombie for 4 years. And the things that I learned working that job, I implemented in my business still to this day. How to hire, how to fire, the point system for when people are late, sick. I use all of that stuff right now in my business. Imagine if I was too good to work there and then expect to be able to run a multi-million-dollar clothing brand. It doesn't work like that. But a lot of us want to skip that step. And that's why when I made that $1 million, God was like, oh, you made that? Let me take that right back. Because you're showing that you don't know how to steward it properly. I didn't properly set up the steps. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to that. Now, I did the marketing. The marketing was there. We was killing it. Every celebrity, influencer, we had it all. The plan was crazy. And I'm blessed because we actually did $1 million twice. Black Friday, the year goes back, Black Friday again. Now, we still made mistakes the second Black Friday, but the second one was way less mistakes. Let me just give y'all some numbers. Out of that $1 million, I would say I refunded $500,000. Yeah. Not only that, just wait, there's more. Not only that, y'all know how it is with black-owned businesses. We get it a little tougher than most people, right? So to the public, they're like, oh, all these celebrities got the stuff. We don't got our stuff. Da, 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 da. We shipped out about 9,000 orders, and we had about 4,000 that weren't shipped. So 9,000, y'all say that's a pretty good amount of orders, but 4,000 is also a lot. Imagine 4,000 people saying, where's my order? Imagine 4,000 people posting negatively about you. So even though we had done so much, it still felt like so little. I was like, yo, we're moving every day. We're sending hundreds out. And so God will give you a little bit and just test you. Let me see what you do with this. But some of us choose to not steward that correctly and then complain that God never gives us anything. Now, it's okay if I'm still talking like this, right? Okay. I had to make sure we was with family. Because I like the motivation, I like the excitement, I like the hype jumping on stage, but I like the real. Because we trying to be successful, right? Like, we don't want businesses that last for 5 years. We want businesses that last for our kids, and our kids' kids. I want Black Coffee to see 13 generations of kids come through here and own and work. Y'all clap it up for that. Like, this shouldn't be something that's temporary. This is permanent. So with permanent results, you have to do things permanently now that's going to set you up for a lifetime, right? So I ask you the question again. Who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you when your back is against the wall? What are the things that you're doing when nobody is looking? And I will tell you the results will never lie on what you are doing, all right? I'll give you one more story. And for me as an entrepreneur, I love being in the spotlight. Like, it's fun. I get to do things like this. I love to give back. But I had to ask God if I was doing it for myself or if I was doing it for him. And it's crazy because on social media, I'll have videos that do really well and they're hitting 1 million views and this and this and this. And I realized I was taking a lot of that pride and joy for myself and I wasn't giving the credit to God. And it's so funny how it works because during this time when we were losing all that money, I also lost a relationship. Not only my business partner, but my girlfriend at the time. 4 years. Lost my girl. And the first thing I did, like 2 Sundays later, I went to church, which is crazy because I hadn't been going to church all this time. And God was like, I had to strip everything away from you so you can come back to me. And when I came back to God, what ended up happening was puzzle pieces started to be rebuilt. So first, he helped my heart, then he helped my mind, then he gave me more opportunity. To the point now where I have so many opportunities, I have to say no unless I just won't be able to function. I've been booked, I think for the past week, I would say out of 14 days, I would say 9 of those days I've had stuff that I had to speak at, attend, influencer brand deals, all those things, because I'm giving it to God, right? This is not my stage, this is his stage. And I have to choose to give him glory in everything that I do because it can be taken away just like that, right? Yeah, y'all give it up for that. So I do want to leave y'all with some motivation. Like, anything is literally possible. This idea came from my dorm room. I was a student with no money, and I had an idea because I knew there was an audience there that needed to be served. They just didn't have anybody serving them. And so I chose to be that person. And so whatever you have your mind on, whatever that idea is, that small little idea you have, it's like a coffee bean. You gotta, first you get it, but then you gotta roast that thing. You gotta make it how you want it, and then you put your own little, your own little 2 cents on it, and make it to what you make it. So if I could, I want to end this in prayer. If everybody can close their eyes and bow their heads, I love to end in prayer. I just want to say, Father God, I pray for these entrepreneurs that we have in front of us. Thank you for bringing us all together in space. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to just listen and learn and be around each other. I pray for abundance in every single person's business. I pray for overflow. I pray for so many opportunities that they won't even know which ones to say no and yes to. I pray that we have the last 6 months of this year, the best absolutely financial chance that we can to grow and make our business popular. God, I pray for influencers. I pray for people who have never ordered to reorder or to order for the first time, God. I pray that everybody has peace of mind, peace of spirit. I pray for health. I pray for everyone's health. If anybody is sick, please touch them right now. Anybody, family members are sick, please touch them right now. It's important for us to be able to fully operate with our health. And I pray for just everybody's success in here, God. I thank you for this opportunity, and I thank you for everybody in attendance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.